Well, hello, welcome again to a reading through of the Septuagint version of the book of Genesis. I did the first 8 verses both in the Hebrew and in the Greek, but from now on I'm just going to stick to the Greek text, although I may have things to say about what the Hebrew says at various places as well. Kai epen hotheos sun aktheto tohudo tohubakato tu uranu es synagogein mian kai ophtheto hexera kai agenetahos ahutos. And God said, now this verb here, this is from sun ago, and it's a third person singular passive, aorist passive imperative. So theto is the aorist passive imperative, third person singular. You don't get too many of these. So it means God said, let the water, that with the water which is below the heaven, let it be gathered into, literally one gathering. So Greek, as does Hebrew, they like having cognate nouns and verbs. Of course, this word later comes to mean a synagogue, but not here. Here it's just a place of gathering together. Kai of theater, this again is a third person singular aorist passive imperative. The root of this, you see words like ophthalmos for the eye. The root is from opt, is the root, which survives in modern words like optometry and so on. It's the aorist passive from horao. So let the dry land be seen, the xera. Let the dry land be seen. And it was so. Now this next section here, I've marked it here in brackets. This next section is not in the Masoretic text. It's in the Septuagint, but not the Masoretic text. This happens quite a bit. We don't know what the original Hebrew text was. We know from Dead Sea Scrolls that it certainly seems to have differed from the Masoretic text that we have today, which really wasn't completely fixed until about 6th or 7th century AD. So this particular section is not in the Masoretic text. Sai kai sunekte tohudo tohubakato tu uranu es tas synagogas auton kai ophde hexera. So it's really just fulfilling, God said let this happen, and then it happens. So, and the water, the one below the heaven, was gathered, aorist passive, from sunago, into its gatherings, and ophde, the dry land, ophde, was seen. You can translate it as appeared, but it's literally it was seen. Kai ekalesen hotheos ten xeran gain kai ta sustemata ton hudaton ekalesen thalasas. Kai aiden hotheos hoti kalon. And God called the dry land gain, the earth, kai sustemata, fairly vague word, often translated as the sort of the composite whole. It's cognate with our English word system, which is also a fairly vague word in English. And so it's similarly vague here. It has a variety of meanings in a variety of contexts. The Hebrew original is a word having the sense of gathering together. So here it's perhaps the composite whole of the waters. He called thalasas, he called the seas. And God saw hotikalon, that it, understand, was good. Kai epen hotheos blastesato hege botanen kortu speran sperma katagenos kai kath homoi oteta kai xulon carpimon poiun carpon hu tops sperma auto in auto katagenos epites ges kai genitor hutos. And God said, now this verb here is from, it's from blastao, if you're looking it up, which is a later form of blastano, is the more classical word, or the earlier word. This is blastao. It means to bud or blossom. Here, something like produce. So God said, let the earth produce, bring forth, produce. Botanan, literally a word meaning pasture, and hortu, again, very vague word here. It can mean a sort of feeding place. It's a little bit like the Latin hortus, which means garden, and hence the whole phrase could be rendered plants of the garden, or perhaps fertile land. The Hebrew at this point is slightly different. It has a list of things. It has the grass, herb, fruit, tree, yielding seed. So it's slightly awkward to translate here, because we're going to see this hortos later, I think, in another couple of lines' time, where it has the sense of a herb or grass. So God said, let the earth produce the botany, the pasture, perhaps consisting of grass, if we take this as a defining genitive. So a pasture consisting of grass or herbs. Speron is a neuter participle, and it must be agreeing with hortos here, although that's normally masculine. So it's, oh no, sorry, it's the sperma it's agreeing with. It's a neuter participle, so it's seed sowing on the according to its kind. Hard to translate this really. So sowing seed according to its kind. We might say sown seed according to its time. So this is a neuter participle from spero, and must be agreeing with sperma. According to its kind and according to its homoi oteta, from homoi otes, third declension noun, according to its likeness. So I think the point here is that the writer's trying to get across is that once created, the seed then is self-creating. So it continues to create according to its kind and according to its likeness. So that which the grass produces, or the herb produces something of the same sort and with the same appearance. Kai xulon carpimon poiun carpon. Xulon, of course, is a wood, so it's wood, or perhaps tree, might be better here, and it's carpimon, fruit-bearing tree, and then we get another neuter participle here, agreeing with xulon, producing fruit. So a tree, fruit-bearing, producing fruit. Of whom its seed. Now the who and the autu, you have to get used to this in Septuagintal Greek. It's trying to capture what happens in the Hebrew. In Hebrew, the relative pronoun asher has no gender, and so in Hebrew a suffix is added to the noun to tell you, to pin it down as his or its or hers and so on. And that's what the autu is. So you often take these two together and you simply say it's whose seed is understood in it. Perhaps a classical Greek would have had a reflexive here. Katagenos, according to its kind, I think it's best for genos, according to its kind upon the earth, and it was so. Kai anenenken hege patanen hortu. Speron sperma katagenos kai, we just get this repeated, homoietita kai xulon carpimon poion carpon. It's exactly the same as we've had before. It's the same thing. So, and the earth, so God said to do this, and the earth, ex einenken, is from ek pharaoh, it's the aorist einenkon. So the earth literally carried out, so we might say brought forth. Now we translated this before as the pasture consisting of grass or herbs, a seed sowing according to its kind and according to its likeness, and the tree, the fruit-bearing tree producing fruit, whose seed was in it according to its kind upon the earth. Kai Aidenotheos hotikalon, and God saw that it was good. Kai agenetos spera, kai agenetos proi hemera trite. And there was an evening, and there was a morning, or an early morning, proi, day trite, day the third. So we'd say the third day. Kai apenhotheos genethes theitosan, Fosteres into stereomata to uranu es fausin tes ges to dia chorisden anameson tes hemeras kai anameson tes noctos kai estosan es semea kai es kairos kai es hemeras kai es any autus. Just pause it there. And God said, let there be, again this is a third person, this time it's plural imperative. The imperative forms in later Greek are a bit different to the classical forms, in case you're wondering about the endings here. It's a third person plural imperative from, and it's gone into the passive essentially from what is at this stage ginomai. So God said, let there be fosteres. Interesting word. You can see it's connected with phos, the lights, and it means the stars really here. It means God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven. So it's really the stars here. This is a late word. It does reappear in the New Testament. Eis phausin, another fairly late word. This bit here actually is not in the Septuagint, the Masoretic text again. This is it's just not there. This word phausis is very rare. It's used only here, and it turns up again, I think, in the book of Judith, chapter 13, and some late astronomical works. Here it probably refers to the heliacal rising, people think. So anyway, it's so let there be lights, perhaps stars, in the firmament of heaven, for literally the lighting of the land, so as to, plus the infinitive, so as to make a division and a meson between, and then the day and between the night. Estosan, this is the third person plural imperative from the verb to be. So let them be as semea, signs. Then we get these kais, so both for seasons and for days and for years. Kaistosen eis phausin, again third person plural from imperative from the verb to be. So let them be eis phausin, something like for illumination, which is what you could translate here, for the lighting, for the illumination. Sorry, I have to line this up. For the illumination ento stereomata to uranu, in the firmament of heaven, hostiphinain, so as to shine upon the earth, epites ges. Kai agenetos hutos, and it was thus. Kai epoies enhotheos tous duo fosteras tous megalus. Ton fostera, ton megan, es arches ten, ates hemeras, kai ton fostera, ton elaso, es arches tes nuktos kai tus asteras. And God made the two lights, the two great lights, the great light for the ruling of, so for the governing of the day, and the lesser light for the governing of the night. And and he made also the stars. So this of course refers to the sun, which is the great light, and the lesser light being the moon. And etheto autus otheos ento stereomati tu uranu hos definein epites ges. And God placed them in the firmament of the heavens so as to shine upon the earth. Kai arcain tes hemeras, kai tes nuktos, kai diacorisdain anameson tu photos, kai anameson tu scotus, kai eden hotheos hotikalon, kai egeneto hespera, kai egeneto proi hemera tetate. So God made this so as to have for governing the night and also the stars, and God placed them in the firmament of heaven so as to shine upon the earth and to govern, to rule the day and the night, and because the verb ruling takes genitive, and to make a separation between the light and between the darkness. Skotos here is a third declension noun. It's tos skotos. And God saw that it was good, and there was an evening and there was a morning, day the fourth, tetate. The fourth day. Kai epenotheos eis egageto tahudata herpeta psukon soson kai petena petomina epites ges katatos stereoma tu uranu. And God said, let the waters let the waters bring forth, I should say, from ex ago. Again, it's a third person imperative. Aorist, it's a strong aorist imperative. So God said, let the waters bring forth, literally creeping things. And then we've got psukon, zoson. Zoson here is, it's a feminine genitive participle from tsao, and probably aorist, I think, with the sigma there, although it's really got a continuous sense. These are genitives, and it's rather odd here, is it perhaps with living souls, consisting of living souls? It might be a defining genitive here. So let the waters bring forth creeping things with living souls. Now the soul, is in Hebrew, for the psuke, is in Hebrew nephesh, which means a life force. And so in Hebrew thought, all living things by definition had souls, had psuke, because they were living things. So with living souls and flying things, perhaps birds by this stage, and this is formed from the verb, petamize, the verb to fly, petena. In classical Greek it's ornis, of course, ornis or ornithos, which you do get in later Greek, but it seems to be being replaced by petena, which comes into the New Testament as well, meaning birds. So perhaps birds flying upon the earth, upon the earth, kata tos stereoma to uranu, well, perhaps about or under the firmament of heaven. Kai geneta hutos, and it was thus. And God made te kate ta megla. The kate Katos is just a large creature. It sometimes can refer to something like a whale and so on. So, it's a third declension noun, katos, and it just means some large creatures, I think here, and it's tamegala. The large creatures and every soul of living, creeping things. This is from Soia. Yeah, well, of living animals, of creeping animals, creeping living things, which the waters sent forth katagene. So these large things here, you could translate it as whales really here, because they're coming out of the water, they're connected with the water, so it's large, perhaps sea animals, and every soul of living creeping things which the waters sent forth, katagene, according to their kind, kai pan patenon pteroton. Greek, we get a nice sound pattern here, pan patenon pteroton. This means winged, and every winged bird, flying thing, katagenos, according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Kai eulogesen autothios legon, oxanesti kai plethunesti kai plerosity tahudata in tais thalasis. I'll just translate this quickly here. And God saw that it was good, and God blessed them, saying, increase, from auxanomai, increase and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds fill, or perhaps be increased, upon the earth. And it was evening, and it was early, and it was the 5th day. Kai apen hotheos exagageto hege psukein zoen katagenos tetrapoda kai herpeta kai theria tesges katagenos kai ageneto hutos. And God said, let the earth bring forth living soul according to its kind, four-footed things and creeping things and beasts of the earth according to their kind. And it was so. And God made Theria, the beasts of the earth according to their kind, and the Katene. Katene, generally, this again is neuter plural, it's Katenos, third declension neuter, so it means often cattle, in fact, according to their kind, and all the creeping things of the earth according to their kind, and God saw that it was good. Ka'epen hotheos, and God said, poi somen, let us, notice it is plural, let us make anthropon a man, kat ekona hemeteran, kai kath homoi osin. Now the kai is in the Greek here. There is no corresponding word, which is w in Hebrew. There is no w in the Masoretic text. These are just in apposition to each other. I leave the theologians to debate all this, but some of the church fathers wanted then, because of this verse here, wanted to make a distinction between the idea of an eikon, or an image, and a homoiosis, a likeness. But I'll leave that to the theologians to discuss. So God said, let us make a man in our image and according to our likeness. And Arkitosan, let them have control, let them rule. The fish, and it takes genitive, the fishes of the sea, from ichthus, and the birds of the heaven, and it's really cattle or animals, and all the earth, and all the the creeping things, the ones creeping. So notice the two things here. This is a noun, herpetes, and this is from, this is a participle. So the creeping things, those who are creeping upon the earth. And God made the man in his image, he made him. Arsan kai thelu, male and female. These are the accusatives from arsan and thelus. He made them. And God blessed them, saying, increase and multiply and fill the earth, and, well, generally rendered, have dominion over it. You might see what it's made up of. It's from that kuriuo, to rule over. So have, and kata strengthens it quite a lot. So have dominion over it, and rule the fishes of the sea and the birds of the heaven and all the cattle and all the earth and all the creeping things, those creeping upon the earth. And God said, Idu, behold, Dedoka, perfect from Didomi, I have given to you all Horton, Sporimon, Sperimon, Sperma. Notice the lovely sound patterns here. Greek likes that. So all the grass, all the seed, all the herbs, which produces seed, sowing seed. So all the seed producing grass or herbs sowing seed, which is upon all the earth. And all the xulon, all the wood, or perhaps each tree, perhaps is better, which has in itself the fruit of, now the spermatos sporimu, which has in itself the fruit from the seed fit for sowing. It's hard to translate this into English, but that's what it is. So which has in itself so its fruit from the seed which is fit for sowing. And it will be for you as brosin. This is third declension, brosis, cognate with our modern word bromine, for food. There's an old verb, bibrosko, to eat. The root of it is bro, and it forms this abstract noun, brosis, third declension. So it will be food for you. And for all the beasts of the earth, and for all the birds of the heaven, and for each creeping thing which creeps upon the earth, which has in itself a soul of life, a nefesh of life. Chloros is a funny word translated. It's often translated as green. In earlier Greek it was more pale, really, but probably each green grass or herb, perhaps, for food. And it was so. And God saw all the things hosa epoie sen, which he had made, and behold, kala lian. It was good excessively. Lian, or sometimes you get spodra. This is a Hebraic expression. There's a Hebrew word mod, which you put at the end. It simply means very much so. So, and behold, it was very beautiful, beautiful exceedingly. And there was an evening and there was a morning, Hemera Hekte, the 6th day. And that is the end of Genesis chapter 1.